Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about some of my favorite Architectural Digest home tours. Personally, if I'm going to watch a home tour, I usually go to places like House and Garden or Homeworthy. I feel like they have a more personal, in-depth look at the people's homes, but sometimes you just want to see what a celebrity's house looks like, and that's what AD is for. So I have 4 homes that I want to talk about. They're all, in my opinion, the most interesting Architectural Digest home tours. I left out a few, like I also love Troye Sivan's home, Dakota Johnson, but those are so popular and I feel like people have already discussed them, so I wanted to bring something a little new to the conversation. So, starting off, we're gonna go to the home of Lily Aldridge. This home tour came out in, I think, 2018, so I was 17, and this was like the first time I really fell in love with home decor and interior design. I feel like this is what kickstarted my interest in it. So this home is designed by Pearson Ward. They're a design duo based in LA. They have very distinct, eclectic, vintage style, but they just mix things so well. They mix styles really well in home decor, so that's why they're one of my favorites. This house tour was the first time I found out about them and I was blown away. My 17-year-old mind was like, I didn't know you could mix home decor like this. So if you don't know, Lily Aldridge is a model. She's married to the lead singer of Kings of Leon. I really like her house. Today, it's not my style, but I think when I first saw it, I was like, this is everything I want. Lily describes it as a mix of like Moroccan and English and modern. The standout room, in my opinion, in this home is definitely the kitchen. The tile in this kitchen is incredible. I love a tiled kitchen, especially a vent hood over the stove. It's completely tiled. I love it so much. And because this tile is so classic, this, in my opinion, is never going to go out of style. It's black and white, it'll go with everything. I just love the choices they made in this kitchen. I love the open shelving and all of the vintage pieces incorporated, like the blue and white pottery, the paintings, the plants, the mirror. I just think it all works really well. It almost reminds me of a Nancy Meyers movie, which, by the way, I want to do a whole video dedicated to Nancy Meyers interiors because they're incredible. But anyways, that's what it kind of reminds me of. It's just clean and traditional, but a little bit modern and trendy, and I really like it. Another room that I really love of hers is her dining room. Personally, I don't love the rugs in it. I don't really like a small rug under a dining table. Like, I got rid of ours under our table because it kind of sections off that area and makes it look smaller. But one of my favorite things that Pearson Ward does is hanging a small piece of art on a window or the sill of a window. I just think it looks so good, and I'm assuming this is one of her children's art pieces, which you know I love. I love whimsical art. And I really like the plates hung at the top of the wall. I think that looks really good. I just did this in our kitchen with copper molds, and I think that draws the eye up and adds a fun detail to the space. Her style almost feels like Taylor Swift's interior style. If you've ever seen one of her homes, it's very like whimsical, eclectic, lots of patterns, and that's kind of what this reminds me of. I do like the mix of art she has in her home. I think the color palette works really well with her furniture choices. I think that's something that Pearson Ward does really well. I actually have their book that they came out with, and it shows like obviously all of their work, and they just do a really good job at curating art and decor for each client, and I think that's a very nice skill to have. The living room isn't my favorite. It's definitely nice, like 100%. It's a really nice room. It just feels very trendy for that time. I feel like the late 2010s, everyone was painting their bookshelves a different color, and to be honest, I don't love it, like painting the insides of them. But I do love the chandelier with the zodiac signs. I think that's kind of fun. I've never seen that before. The armchairs, not my favorite style. I don't really like that roll arm style, but I do love the color of them, and it matches the drapes, which is nice. And she has a hanging chair in the corner, which I think is really fun and it plays into that whimsy element. And since she has children, I'm sure they love that too. The rest of the house is a little bit more traditional than my taste. It feels very grown up. It kind of feels like one of those rooms where if you visited as a kid, they wouldn't let you sit in that room. It's kind of just for show, which personally I don't understand those type of rooms, like a formal sitting room. No one ever uses. And I don't think there's a point in having that in your home. If you have a whole room, why don't you use it? You know what I mean? To each their own. But that's kind of what this feels like. Her bedroom, same Moroccan vibe, the rug, the nightstand. I feel like it's very trendy of that time, which there's nothing wrong with that, but not exactly my style. I do really like the bathroom. I love the layering of the decor on the window ledge. I love the big art piece, the candles, the ceramic pieces, the books. I think it's really fun. And I do like that rug. I haven't really seen many people do that, the rug going up and under the bathtub. And I really enjoy the little, what is that called? Little side table by the bathtub, and how it adds in some blue. Same with this little area in her house. I don't know if it's like a little kid's room. I love the piece of art over the window. I love the giant giraffe stuffed animal, and that blue color of the table kind of runs throughout her house. I think it looks really good. I also love the dress choice that they put on her. That bright like citron yellow looks really good with all the colors in the photo. For her daughter's bedroom, I really enjoy it. It's a really calming, cool color palette. I love the piece of art on the wall. I think those colors complement everything else in the room. The giant bunny, it feels very little girl-esque and very whimsical, but also very calming. And I love the canopy over the bed. Even though this is kind of a simple room, I think it's doing a great job of showing whimsical, childlike nature. That is all I have for that house. I just wanted to show y'all because this is like the house that got me into interior design and how I found out about Pearson Ward. I just loved it. I feel like people who like interior design all have that one moment of like finding something where you're like, I didn't realize you could do that with a space. So this was mine. So I just want to show y'all. The next house I have is also done by Pearson Ward, and that's Emma Roberts' house. This house tour recently came out and I've seen other people review it. It's gotten some mixed reviews. Personally, I love it. I feel like her style is similar to mine. It's just kind of a different side of my style. It's a little more traditional, but I do love the layering that she has done. What I like most about Emma's house is they really went with the architecture of the home and didn't try to make the interior super modern, because the house I think was made in the 20s. It's very much like cottage vibe, and I'm glad they didn't take that and do super contemporary furniture and a color palette on the inside. I think everything about the house and the decor goes really well with each other. Something that I really like about Pearson Ward is they do a lot of vintage pieces mixed with contemporary art and just some fun modern elements, which is very much what I love. I will say some of the decor isn't my exact style. Like, I don't love tassels like on the curtains and the lamps. It kind of reminds me of the early 2000s or like mid 2000s, like the Tuscan style. I know this isn't Tuscan, but I don't love that. What I do love is the mix of patterns in the rug and the striped chairs and the geometric pattern of the table by the window. I think those go really well together. Two other people that I know have reviewed this home, who are Paige Wassel, who doesn't love her, and Noah Daniel. They both reviewed in Robert's home, and they mentioned how the color palette is a little bit flat, like it's the same color palette throughout the entire house. And personally, that's not my favorite. I definitely think it's cohesive in areas like her bedroom and the living room, but I do wish she changed it up a little bit for places like the bathroom. But speaking of her bedroom, I personally love it. Y'all know I love florals. You know I love wallpaper, matching the drapes, matching the headboard. So I love this bedroom a lot. The only thing I would change is maybe the light fixture at the top, because it's fabric as well. It kind of can make the room feel a little heavy almost, because there's the big floral drapes matching the headboard. It's very fabric heavy, so I think maybe a different light fixture could have been nice, but That's just my personal opinion. The only other note I would have is the trim and it's not shiplap, but the board on half of the wall is like the same color as the sheets. And I don't know why, but I don't love that. I wish it was a different color. It almost feels too much. I don't know. I mean, the room looks great, but the colors are very similar to each other. But yeah, I do love a floral drape moment, especially in a bedroom. So this is probably my favorite room in the house. I also wanted to point out her front door is a really nice color. Again, it's the same that kind of goes throughout the house, but I think the color palette that they chose to run throughout the outside of the house, like I mentioned earlier, really goes well with the architecture of the home and everything inside. I think if she were to choose a black door, it wouldn't feel like it goes with everything because I don't think there's really any black in her house. So this muted yellow color and the gray kind of sets a tone for the rest of what's inside, and I really like that, and I think that was a great detail that Pearson Ward added. For the entryway, this really sets a tone of what the rest of the house is like. You have some functional pieces like the table with the books on it and the flowers, but then you also have just fun vintage pieces like this tiny chair, and then some more contemporary art, contemporary light fixture, and then through the doorway you see that vintagey inspired wallpaper and the dresser. And Paige Wassel also said this in her video, so I don't want to like completely repeat what she already said, but I do agree with her. She said that the color palette just feels flat, and I know I already said that, but you can kind of see it here. It just kind of, especially the wall color, just kind of blends in and there's nothing really standing out. And I discussed this in my video before this one of color and how to make things feel more vibrant and pop more, things that you want to draw attention to. And for some reason in this space, it kind of feels flat, and I'm thinking it's because everything is that beigey color. The kitchen, I don't love the color. Like I just said, this color kind of falls flat for me personally. I don't know why. It's because it's like a tan beige color. I'm sure it looks great in person, but it doesn't really photograph as well as I thought it would, or as well as I would like it to, I guess. If this were my kitchen, I would personally add in a pop of color through the bar stools or the counter stools. I think because everything is wood tones, it feels like there's nothing really standing out and everything kind of blends in to each other, but the kitchen itself is really nice. Bathroom, not my favorite room in the house. Again, the colors are all pretty similar. I like them. I like the flooring a lot. It's like a pomegranate color and it's tile. I think that looks really good. Her son's room is so cute. The only thing that for some reason I don't love is the wallpaper on the ceiling. I think it could have been better if it was a different pattern. I think this is competing with the bed pattern. The bed is this really big corner style, like day bed almost, and it has this really great tree foliage pattern. But I think the ceiling it almost looks too similar to the bed, and it kind of looks off in my opinion. But I do like how in the video, in the house tour, she was going over personal touches like the step stool that was hers when she was little, and then she has one for her son. I really like that stuff. It just shows personality in her home. In the video, she also went over her doll collection, and I love that. I just love a personal touch to the home and how the designers really made sure that was showcased because she's clearly so interested in these dolls. I think that's very fun. And I'm a collector myself of everything, and I like to display my collections, so I'm glad that they gave her an opportunity to kind of show them off, show her passion. My next house I'm very excited to talk about because it is my favorite. I was debating on doing a standalone video on this house, but then it got me thinking and I wanted to show y'all the rest of these. But this house is decorated by none other than Beata Heyman. If you watch my channel, you know I talk about her at nauseum. This is the home of Adwoa Aboah. She's a model. She's done every campaign you can think of. I love her style, and her home is perfection. I feel like if I had to choose a home that was most similar to my style, it would be hers. It's a little bit like amped up from my style. It's a lot more colorful, but still like every design element she has, I love and can relate to. First of all, the living room is insane, and I love how the walls are white, and you wouldn't even really notice that because the furniture is so colorful. It really takes the cake. Like, I don't even think you would notice the walls. You have two couches, which first of all, I love that they did that. I just think it looks really good. You have a floral couch, you have a blue couch, which, by the way, the next couch we get, like years down the road, I want it to be this color. I love this color. And this gigantic painting above it, which has all the colors of her living room. It looks incredible. And then you have this really fun upholstered hot pink coffee table, and then bright lemon yellow curtains, and then a green armchair. And then you have a paper lantern at the ceiling as a pendant. Just from the entryway, you can tell this house is very fun and whimsical. You can see the flooring is a fun pattern, the art on the wall, and the carpeting. You can already tell it's going to be a very fun home. I absolutely love this room. It's like, I don't even know what, it's like a small sitting room. The rug is my favorite. It's like red and navy, I believe, and it has this really nice wood table. And then all around this room, she has personal paintings, pictures, knickknacks, and you know I love a knickknack, and I relate to this heavily, so I love everything that's going on in this room. And the ceiling is a glossy blue color. I just think it looks so nice. And then you have a little bit of a modern edge with the chairs around the table. I just love everything in this. You can really see her personality in this space and what she cares about, and you can see that she really wants to showcase her personal items. This up close image of her mantle I love, because in the video you see her talking about how behind that still life painting is her TV. She had this like little cabinet made, and then I think her uncle or someone painted a still life on top of it, and for the longest time I was going to do this with her TV, but I decided, this made me think of that, we are actually going to mount our TV right here, which I know I literally said in a video never do that, but I'm doing that because I ordered canvas and a curtain rod and felt, and I am going to cut out a big design out of felt, sew it to the canvas, and then make it into two little curtains to cover the TV. And that might sound confusing, but I promise it's gonna look really cool, hopefully. I'm gonna do a video eventually on all my favorite DIYs, so look out for that. But I will be putting the TV up here. But don't worry, it will be covered. I love the pop of green she has with the mirrors, and you can see how much like whimsy and fun she has in her space, because if you look at the top left, there's like a little action figure on top of the mirror, and I just think that's so fun. It's clear that she cares about this home, and she cares about her items, and she just wants to have fun, which I think people don't do a lot or often enough in interiors. That's why I have such an infatuation with Beata Heyman, because I really resonate with her design style. I think she's just really talented and has an eye. So I love this living room. I also love the pops of leopard in her home. I have an animal print pillow to my right here, and I love it. I think there's always room for animal print. I will never go out of style, in my opinion. The only thing I don't love about this area, or about that room that I was saying with the table and chairs, I don't like when books are in rainbow order. I don't like it. I don't know why. It feels very like 2014 YouTube DIY hacks video, if that makes any sense to you. You know what I mean? Like, it's giving like what I would do when I was 13 to decorate my room. That is harsh, but unfortunately, that's my truth. Her kitchen, to be completely honest, it's not my dream or my favorite kitchen. I think it's definitely nice, of course, but I don't love the color scheme. Like the blue tile with the yellow and the kind of greeny curtain and the yellow rug. I don't know. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely nice. This little area, I think this is like off to the side of the kitchen, has this incredible sofa, which Beata uses this fabric a lot. I forget who it's by. It might be Pierre Frey. Don't quote me on that. But this is my dream fabric. It's paired with this like bright greeny teal side table and this giant sculptural lamp, and I love that so much. Her dining room table, to be honest, I don't love the black leather bench. It feels a little heavy almost. I don't know why. Love the leopard chairs so much, and I love the painting above it. I think that's incredible. I love the cobalt blue. It's actually two paintings. I think that looks amazing. And then the bright yellow bowl on her kitchen counter, incredible. This little bathroom I love. It's a deep green, and it has pops of yellow and deep red, and I love the art and the little lights. This is very well done in my opinion. I think this is very cute. If I had to redo our bathroom, I would honestly paint it this color. And then her master bath, not my favorite, to be completely honest with you. It's very white. It's very clean, which I'm sure that's what she wanted, like a clean, bright white environment for her bathroom, but it's not my favorite. But it does have that floral pattern chair and a really nice curtain with her initials, which I think is so cool. Her closet is crazy. It has a giant rug with a snake. Love that. It's kind of just a simple closet. I mean, it's huge. It's really cool. But I do love how Beata put in a personality element with that rug. I think if she chose a cream rug, it'd be like, eh. But because she did this rug with the snake, it's just instantly so much more fun. And the inside edge of the doors and the doors and drawers is red, which I think is a really nice touch. And her bedroom is, if I had all the money in the world, this is what my bedroom would look like. First of all, the carpet. And I just realized it kind of is giving me SpongeBob vibes with the color palette and the flowers. So I don't know how to feel about that, but for some reason it's giving me Bikini Bottom. You know what I mean? But I think this is an incredible mix of styles. You get the English with the wallpaper and the traditional four-post bed, and you get kind of mid-century with the vanity in the mirror. And I love the curtains matching the wallpaper. You know how I feel about that. And I just think this is a really fun space. This is like if I was a Barbie or I had to design a Barbie in her house, this is what it would look like. Like, I don't know why, but it's giving me dollhouse in the best way. I also just want to touch on her garden or her backyard. I really like the vintage red chairs. I think that goes really well with all the greenery around her. And then the styling they did with this purple glass pitcher and the yellow cups, I think looks really, really good, and just shows that even if you have a simple backyard, you can still implement color and fun into it with something as simple as a colored chair. And I think that's really great. I love this home. I love Beata Heyman. Maybe I'll do a full video on her one day because I feel like y'all are probably like, Lindsay, you talk about the woman a lot. Like, let's relax. Maybe you're not thinking that. I don't know. But I love her. And this home is incredible. The final house I want to talk about is the home of Sienna Miller. If you don't know, Sienna Miller is an actress, and she lives in this little cottage, and it is the cutest thing I've ever seen. I don't know what date it's from. I'll have to rewatch the video, but it's old. Parts of the house she can't touch. They're landmark secured, but some of the other newer parts of the house she can touch. So anyway, this is a stunning little cottage. Just the greenery around the house is incredible. It's so pretty. It looks like a fairy tale house. But one of my favorite things in the house is her kitchen. So the walls are this like pale pink color. If you hear any noise, it's my son right here, by the way. He's my filming buddy. But the walls are this pale pink color, and then she has accents of this dark green through the lights, through her pottery. The only thing I don't love is the mirror behind the stove as like a backsplash. I don't know why, but I just don't love it. And I know her explanation for the mirrors is to make the space seem bigger, but I just don't know if it was completely necessary. Other than that, I love the tiled floor. It's like a really pretty blue color. What this house does well, because it's so old and it's such a historic cottage, they mix classic British English style with modern elements, such as this dining table. The art above it is very modern, very geometric, but then she mixes in vintage pieces like the mirror and the wood dining table. And I love a mix of contemporary and vintage and old and new. She also has this amazing pink couch, and I love the pink because it's mixed with yellow, red drapery. I also love the fact that they have curtains. Like these ceilings look so low, but they still have curtains, and I don't know why, but that makes me feel like it's like a fairy cottage. Like everything is so cozy and low ceilings and it's warm and there's a fireplace. It just reminds me of Tinkerbell, and I loved that growing up, so this reminds me of that and I love that. But you can definitely tell this house is meant to be cozy and warm, but it still shows her personality. There are a few elements that aren't my absolute favorite that I feel like don't necessarily go with the cottage feel, like the bathroom wallpaper. Some of the art, it doesn't feel like it goes really well with the cottage. I think she could have gone even further into the cottage aesthetic without being cliche, because this is such a traditional house. Some of the elements, like the wallpaper, kind of feel ill-fitting, but overall I really like the aesthetic and colors they chose. I really like the little girl's bedroom with the sheepskin curtain. They didn't do regular drapes, they did like this flap curtain. I think that's really nice. I also love what she calls the outhouse. It was this old shed that she turned into a room for her guests to stay, and it's so nice. It's nothing crazy, like there's no amazing design elements, but it has a nice bed, it has a bathroom, it has some fun elements to it, nice curtain. I think overall this is just a very cozy space, and I love the color palette. There are some things that, like I said, I would change, like the wallpaper feels a little ill-fitting, or at least the print of the wallpaper does. I personally wouldn't choose that. But I do like her mix of classic English style with contemporary modern touches. I just wanted to include this because I haven't heard anyone talk about it on the internet before, and it's such a cozy, fun house. I know I've said cozy so many times, but that's just the word that describes this place. So anyways, I don't have too many notes on that one. I just wanted to include it because it's nice and cozy. But those are my houses. Those are my favorite AD tours. Let me know what favorite tours y'all have. If I'm missing anything that you think I would like. Obviously, like I said earlier, Dakota Johnson's house is a given. Like her house is so nice. Not my style, but it's very well done, and that's Pearson Ward as well. Eventually, I'll do another part to my first ever video I posted. Like, I think it was called I Think About These Home Tours Every Day. I want to do a second episode of that because there's so many more home tours that I love that I want to talk to y'all about. So anyways, hopefully y'all enjoyed, and let me know what your favorite, let me know what your favorite home tours are, and I'll see you in the next one.